this season so far has been pretty fun, and I'll say fun is a loose term. If you try to take this season seriously, you're probably not going to be too happy. If you're someone that really likes Star Wars, you're ecstatic. If you've always hated whenever we get Star Wars content, you're probably going to want to sit this one out. At first, I didn't like the idea of getting a Star Wars season since there isn't much else to do because we've seen a lot of these items before in the game, and realistically, this is just Epic's way of playing it safe. They're adding more content as the season progresses, whether it be very little or a lot, but it's to see if people actually enjoy a quote-unquote mini-season since they have made a lot of the content already. It's the smart move. I bet there's a lot of new players that never got to experience the old Star Wars content, so this is very exciting for them. And with blasters being the only available weapons in the loot pool, it completely changes the game right now. Not having ammo for a season is an interesting concept, but depending on how your lobbies are and maybe even the game mode you play, either zero builds or builds, you might not like them as much. The blasters are strong. They do a shit ton of damage, and you don't even have to risk wasting anything since all the blasters do is overheat, and the overheating isn't even that long. Right now, the season feels very similar to Warzone, and it's shocking that I even think of that infestation of a game, but hear me out. The blasters kill really quickly, similar to how every gun in Warzone, it seems like, has a very fast TTK, or time to kill. Casuals seem to really enjoy Warzone when the TTK is high, so the faster or higher it is, the more unexperienced players have a chance at getting an elimination. This is perfect for Epic because the people who I would believe to be the biggest part of the community and the ones that spend the most money are the casual player base. If you make the game fun, you make casuals happy, and you make a lot of money. That's all that Epic wants. I've streamed a couple times for this season. I played on the first day and, get my reaction for that. I've even spectated to see how they play, and I did that in its own video. The season isn't exactly growing on me, but it's not terrible. Since I've seen a lot of this content already, I'm not excited. Some people are beginning to realize once again that, exclusivity is dumb since you can't get the original Darth Vader skin, Mandalorian skin, or even Ahsoka. And the battle pass itself is alright, but it's titled mini season. I don't know if we really need mashup skins in the battle pass since you can resell them later. It just makes sense to put all the exclusive stuff or temporarily exclusive stuff in the battle pass now, and then you sell it later. Mace Windu would have been perfect in the battle pass. Darth Jar Jar would have been cool. A customizable skin for a change would have been great, which would have been the Mandalorian stuff that they are planning on adding. But the Eve skin, it's good. I like it does Jedi and Sith pretty well. I can't really complain about it. I just wish that it was all about Star Wars. And besides cosmetics, the gameplay loop isn't something I enjoy as much as I thought. TIE fighters and X-Wings are really fun to pilot. I have fun with them, but it just feels like taking the easy way out. In squads, you get shredded instantly if you try to pilot them, but in solos, they just have way too much health. They do too much damage. They're way too strong. It's because not 4 people are targeting you. It's a little bit different in duos as well, But even without the TIE fighters and X-Wings, going from 250 to 0 HP in a millisecond is just not fun or enjoyable at all, especially when you have no idea it's about to happen and it's from a gajillion miles away and you didn't even know you're being shot at. And hey, I've played builds a good bit already this season. It's okay, but building makes it easier for people to know where to attack you. If you're gonna box up, you risk people either attacking you with the TIE fighter or X-Wing, or they slash in with a lightsaber, or they throw those implosion grenade things. Jesus, those things are insane. But in zero builds, if you don't have any mobility, which by the way, the very start of the season didn't have shockwaves, so clearly they didn't play test it correctly. If you don't have mobility, you're dead. Personally, I think Epic needs to play into the Star Wars vibe a little bit more. Make it so sabers don't drain stamina so you can double jump and roll and you have the increased movement speed. Make it so that we can also get them in chests and you don't have to give force powers with that. Just let us have access to the lightsaber. The spaceship should have way lower health, but in turn should have infinite lives, and they also would recharge their health slower, but it would allow them to exist in the game the entire time. Basic cars shouldn't even be in for this season, in my opinion. They should be replaced with speeders or just something else that's Star Wars related and can float or fly, whatever. They don't fit, and I get that they have them. It's just to sell stuff. They already showed that they have Darth Vader car sort of thing. They're gonna stay, but I really wish they weren't in. And even something like the train has no theme to it, no Star Wars theme, nothing. And a lot of the other places around the map besides the corners of the map have basically nothing going on. Yes, there's little small extra added POIs, but all of the actual POIs that we know already are unchanged. Unless there's something very minor that I never picked up on, there doesn't seem to be much to it. And there's a lot to nitpick. I want to try and avoid that. I know I complain a lot about the game and whatever, so just understand that I think the season is fun. I have found it fun, but I know that it's not enjoyable for a lot of people. I feel like a mini season was a random thought that a Disney executive had, and Tim Sweeney followed up by, enforcing it to make sure that that season came out before anything else. And the player count was really high at first. It was like the first weekend, it was pretty good, but then by the second weekend now, it seems like a lot of people have pieced out. And obviously, they're not going to keep 100% of their players. They're not going to keep, 80% of their players. I don't care how exactly it works. But with a smaller player count, it's more noticeable. And I've been getting a good amount of comments where people tell me how they don't like this season at all. And it's reasonable. I like to be honest with my community and anyone that watches. I can't sugarcoat anything, especially if I know I don't really enjoy it. I say it's fun because I like Star Wars, and I can work around all the bullshit in the season, but we still have stuff like bots, we still have stuff like skill-based matchmaking, which kind of seems to be turning into engagement optimized based matchmaking, however you call it. That's really a topic for its own, video. I don't want it to seem like I'm necessarily hating on the season, but I think when I personally talked about it with my dad, he put it the best. It's just mid. This Fortnite season is generally mid. And yeah, we're going to have a live event. We're going to have the ability to command the Star Destroyer later. And we had all of the things basically spoiled for us and what to expect going every single week, which relatively is all right. I can understand why they're doing it. But I have a big assumption in that there's not going to be any surprises, really at all. Maybe a slight balance change here or there, but they're not going to randomly just come out with something and say absolutely nothing prior. They're going to tell us, and it's going to be there, and everything that we see is what's going to happen. I have a feeling that there's going to be no new POIs. There's not going to really be anything interesting content-wise, because is the Force Pull original to this season? Did we have that before? I think a lot of people have been abusing it. You seem to be able to pull people through builds. It's kind of crazy. That type of stuff is fun, but it doesn't really make sense to have ranked for this season, especially if you're going to have all this broken shit. I'm kind of hesitant to post this video. I'm kind of hesitant to talk more about Fortnite. A piece of me really just wants to kind of stop uploading, but I know that a lot of you guys like watching, and I want to be honest with you. So I'm keeping myself away from playing just so that it doesn't make me, seem like a little baby whenever I make these types of videos. I'm not going to say that video making is hard or having to play a video game is too hard. The game realistically though just fucking sucks. Just as sort of like everything about Fortnite, I am kind of like unattached or detached or whatever you'd call it. I don't care. I generally don't. I feel like a lot of people kind of feel that way, and I think the game is more or less becoming not Roblox or anything where you can invest time, but Roblox where you have all these options and you're not really going to get much out of it. Battle passes don't have much for you to sink your teeth into. The story is something that you really have to deeply research to even begin to understand, where it seemed like in the older seasons I kind of had a grasp. Now it doesn't even seem close. I don't really know if like cheaters are a problem at all. I don't know about any of that. More or less, a lot of my takes and everything that I may have, it's coming from a place of I've played probably 3-4 hours of this season so far, like in total. Actually, not including streaming. In my spare time, I've played about 4 hours. I've streamed a little bit here and there, which bumps up the time by a good bit, but it's the same thing kind of every time. And if you couldn't tell, I don't have any more to my script here. This is just me with you and kind of just explaining my thoughts off the top of the dome. Because of the way that Fortnite is going right now, which I know some people always complain, it's like, oh, you're supposed to be talking about, chapter 6. You're supposed to be talking about Star Wars. Listen, man, I'm talking about Fortnite here, okay? With how everything is going with this game, with how content seems to be getting released, how the item shop is, and, how things are monetized, how trailers are for the game, where Epic and Fortnite are being focused or are focusing, it sucks. Like, I don't like looking at it. I don't like interacting with the game. And then I go play another game and I'm like, well, I'm not even good at this game. Maybe I try to get better, and then I get a little bit better and I'm like, cool. But then it's like, how do I make a video off of this? How do I keep you guys entertained? So lately I've been trying to think of what I could do with my channel to kind of change things. I know you guys, some of you that have watched, enjoy when I spectate. Personally, I feel like spectating is kind of like reaction content, where it's very easy to do. You can do a lot of it, but I would like to keep it to a minimum. So for the minimal amount that there is, people like what there is. Because if I just keep doing it over and over, it loses its pizzazz. I want to make some videos of talking about other games. I really do. But when I look at analytics and stuff like that, sometimes it scares me a bit and it makes me not want to do any of that stuff. But I know I should, because I can't stick with Fortnite. I genuinely can't. The amount of times I've written a script or thoughts or anything regarding how I just do not enjoy Fortnite is legitimately insane. It started towards the end of chapter 4 and it's persisted ever since then. Battle passes seem to offer nothing besides just something to work towards. There's no upgradable skins, you know, unlockable type of rewards, if that makes any sense. The secret battle pass skins don't really have any merit to them. I don't even think we really have weekly challenges to unlock the secret skin. Like everything that was very special about chapter 1 and 2, maybe you can include 3. No, not 3, because 3 had Spider-Man. Chapter 1 and 2 mostly. Reasonably so, there was a lot to work on and stuff to do, and it was kind of nice. Like that one season, I think it was X, where we had the ability to get like 100 different little digital bytes around the map, and that got you a skin. And if you didn't do it, you missed out. I think they were coming out every, you know, now and again or something like that. Maybe it was once a day. Something small like that is always nice, and that you can't just have that. The gameplay needs to be fun, and currently, like I've said a gajillion times, the gameplay is not all too enjoyable. I do think that infinite ammo is unique, but I think it's starting to show that it doesn't work. Because when you have infinite of something, people will abuse that infinite of whatever. You know, people are just spamming builds and shit. There's no downside to it. And I was going to cook up a video talking about Save the World, but even then, it's kind of depressing if I do. I've talked about it with some people here and there, and they've suggested, why don't you make content on some of the other modes in the game besides just the Battle Royale? To be as straightforward with you guys, just to tell you, because it's more important that you know than not know, those modes are not given as much care as they probably should be. Now, I think Lego is basically done, but Festival, backtracked. Rocket Racing, never going to be worked on again. And Ballistic just sucks. It genuinely just sucks. For what they're going for, it sucks. Like, I know that sounds, you know, very generic, but it sucks. The hit registration on it is terrible. Desync is fucking atrocious. We have shell maps and stuff like that, and a lot of the people just don't play the fucking game. You know, Festival, Battle Stage, and Jam Stage are generally just useless. It's a lot of useless shit that's in the game, and creative is the main focus. It's all about creative maps. You know, Save the World is quote unquote finished. The story's not actually done. It was just forced to be done. A lot of the stuff with it is not worked on. Yes, we got 2 new heroes, but I've heard that they're terrible. They're not even good. So it's like, okay, well then you're just giving us stuff for the sake of giving us stuff. There's a lot with the game right now that's not fun. I don't know necessarily what to do with it. My dogs are barking. I don't know if you can hear it. It's kind of why I've been taking a little bit longer to upload. I tried out doing a little bit of daily, and then it just didn't seem to really be working in a way. And Fortnite in and out of itself is why I couldn't really do it, because I can't play it every single day again. And I don't know what other game I could do, you know? I don't know what else I could just kind of branch into, supposedly, or per se. I don't know what the word is to use. I think that when it comes to Fortnite, they're very focused on money. Money is the most important thing, and if something can't make money, they're just gonna get rid of it. So if there's not enough people playing it to warrant putting dev time into it, which is spending money, they're gonna cut it. And that's just a lot of the stuff that happens with this game. So overall, it's depressing. It's genuinely annoying. Honestly, if you are someone that watched up until this point, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. It helps. You know, the watch time is the most important thing with videos. That biggest thing I could tell you guys. Always watch till the end. And if you would like to be even kinder, comment anything. Doesn't matter what it is. It'll boost the video if you really want it to. Respond to other people in the comments, like the video, do anything that you want with that. I'm going to try to not really ask all the time with videos constantly, because I know that can be annoying. I don't need to remind you. You guys aren't, you know, children. But maybe suggest something that you'd like to see. I don't know. Maybe the most liked comment on the video of a suggestion is something I'll do. Unless it's like get naked and oil up. I'm not doing that. You know, think of it reasonably. You know, maybe it's funny moments you'd like to see with friends, or if you guys really want me to, I still talk honestly about the other modes that are in Fortnite. I mean, it's an option, but I would not like to do that necessarily. Maybe you want to see me talk about some new games. If there's a new game, suggest it. And like I said, most like, comment. That's what we'll go with for this video. I really appreciate you guys. It's kind of just stressful a little bit for me. Not just because of Fortnite. There's some other stuff going on, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. It's not an excuse to not upload anything or do anything. So I'm just going to be reasonable. Sorry if this is a video that you didn't want to watch. I don't know why you watched up until the end. But if you did enjoy it, thank you. See ya.